Look at what you can get in a mystery box. Sequins. I've had this fabric forever, and finally I'm gonna try to make a tank dress out of it. Do you think I can do it? I picked a really easy pattern that only has 2 pieces. McCall's 8064. So that means I only need to figure out how to sew 2 seams together. Let's see if I can do it. Come on. So I read you're supposed to wear protective eye gear when you cut sequins and use your kitchen scissors, or at least a pair that you don't like, because apparently there's going to be lots of splatter. I have the first pattern piece double folded, ready to go. So I'm going to make a shorter version because I don't have that much fabric. Let's see what happens. First impression, these scissors suck. Sorry, I'm going to use my fabric scissors. First impressions, I didn't need to wear my glasses. That was pretty easy, except for the kitchen scissors. I might need a new pair of fabric scissors and a vacuum, but that was easy. That's the back, let's do the front. Here's the front, no eyeglasses, my own scissors. So that's the front. Now comes the funner part. I have to pick out those sequins all along the seams and the hem so that I can sew them together. But first, I made a lining and a mock-up so that I can see how it fits. Those sequins are see-through. This way I don't have to do any facings. I'll just sew the lining on around the sleeves and the neckline. Okay, let's figure out how to unpick. This isn't so bad. The sequins are sewn with a thread all the way through, and all I have to do is break that thread where I want the seam to go. I've only done a little wee bit, and I have so much more to go. I think hand sewing would be so much faster, because this is sort of like hand sewing. It's really annoying. I'm gonna do it, sorry. I am gonna hand sew these 2 pieces together. Hand sewing is going really well. It's real easy to wiggle your needle around those sequins. I can't imagine having to unpick all of these. That small portion I tried took, like 15 minutes. So can you imagine doing it for a whole dress? So if you're resistant to hand sewing, when you're doing sequins, consider it a good choice. It's really cute, except I think it needs sleeves for this surprising reason. I haven't put the lining in yet, and also excuse the pink bra, but it pokes, the sequins poke all the way around my arms, and I think even with the lining, this is going to be a very pokey dress. With that extra sequin piece I have, I think it won't be so itchy. So I'm going to see if I have enough fabric for 2 sleeves. This sleeve pattern is really slender. If you look at the cover, that is too slender for me. I like a bit of a fuller sleeve, like what I'm wearing here. So what I'm gonna do is a pattern hack that I've done before. Right where the short sleeve part starts, you have that little line right here. I am going to flare it out. First I center it, and then I'm just gonna flare it all the way out so that my sleeve is fuller, just in a straight line across. That's a really easy hack to make your sleeve fuller, and you don't have to even draft a new pattern. Another thing I'm going to do, since I have quite a bit of material, I am actually going to go a bit further and put elastic in around the wrists. I've done that before too, and it looks really good. So let me improvise a new sleeve pattern here. So I've chalked out what I'm going to cut. I decided to go all the way down there, and then when I put in the elastic, it'll all be bunched around my wrist. This might be too much, but I can always cut it off, right? I'll cut this part of the pattern out normally and just follow my lines for the rest. There, is that dreamy? I didn't clip my notches. Instead, I used a clip because I don't think I'd be able to find it. But make sure if you're doing this, always clip your notches because you will mix up your front and the back. So I've only clipped the front. I know this is the front. And here we go. Wow. So the idea is elastic around here. That's gonna look really nice. All right, my next step is to hand sew it together at the seams. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I finished the seam on the sleeve and now I have to put in the elastic. But I wanted to mention that this fabric is really stretchy. So my sequin fabric is stretchy and this is a stretch pattern. So make sure that yours stretches or else you run the risk of this circumference not fitting around your arm because it only measures about 14 inches, 7 times 2 around, and that's what my arm circumference is. So I'm really glad this has a stretch. What we're gonna do next is sew the hem of the sleeve. All I'm gonna do is I've doubled it up here and I'm just going to sew along to make a hem. And also since we're putting in elastic, remember to leave a little bit open. I've actually completed this one and you can see that this is open so that I can put my elastic there. And the rest I have sewn shut. I used a double thread so that it's really sturdy and it won't come apart. For the elastic, I don't have any black elastic, so I'm using a Sharpie to color my white elastic black. All right, that's good enough. Now here's how I do my elastic. I don't pre-cut it, I just take the whole bundle here. I put on a safety pin at the end. I take my sleeve and wiggle it through the entrance and just keep going all the way around. That way you won't lose your end of your elastic in your hem. Now that we've made it to the other side, we can pull along the elastic and make some gathers. It's great to have this extra length. And then stick your wrist in there and see how tight you actually want it. That's pretty good for me. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to tie this elastic instead of sew it down. I just do 3 knots right here. Actually, let's do 2 and double check. Oh, that's perfect. Then I'll do my 3rd one. And then I just cut it and I'll hand sew the rest of that and that'll be perfect. One sparkle dress done. And these sleeves look silly, but wait till you see what it looks like on. Before I can try it on for the final reveal, I have to put in the lining. That's super easy. All I'm gonna do is flip this inside out and sew this lining onto the collar and the arms, and hopefully I won't have any more pokes. I'm gonna do that off camera. Is this epic? I'm in love with sequins. They're so fun to work with. Who would have thought? And I have a sequin dress. It actually fits. It's fun. I'm wearing black tights and black shoes because I usually don't wear dresses so short, but I feel fun. This is awesome. It really fits well. The crazy sleeves, I made them so long, but with the elastic, it works out mostly. If I want, I can pull up the elastic. Oh, it's a little scratchy. I can pull up the elastic though, and oh, how about that? Then they're the perfect length. So that is really kind of a cool adjustment there. But basic pattern, 2 sides, some fun with the sleeves. Don't give up on sequins. You should try this yourself. The hand sewing didn't go too slow, and I think it was much easier to hand sew it than to try to get my needle on my sewing machine through all these sequins. I love it. I can't wait for next New Year's Eve. Oh, I got 9 months. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you had as much fun watching sequins as I did making them. And I think I might actually buy some of my own at some point, right? Yes.